think you have this. No, you don't have all of this on there. So we'll go right to example 1. And here's the big idea. If you have x squared equal to something, you can solve by square root. That's a simple idea. If I have x squared equals 10, I can square root both sides, I can solve for x. That's our big idea. So in this first one, I have x squared. First of all, I want to get that x squared by itself. So I'm going to add the 7 to both sides, divide both sides by 3, until I get the x squared by itself. Because that's the idea. If you have x squared by itself, you could solve for x by square rooting both sides. So I get plus or minus the square root of 5. And it can be positive or negative, because if you square something, it's always going to give you a positive answer in here. Okay? So in B, if you have anything squared, you can solve it by square rooting. So I have x plus 3 squared equals 20. I can square root both sides, which will give me plus or minus the square root of 20. And then I can solve for x by subtracting the 3 over to the other side. And of course, square root of 20 from our last unit is 2 root 5. You'll notice that at the bottom of the page, the textbook didn't simplify the square root of 20 in case a teacher decided to teach this before chapter 2. They decided to do a different order. Okay? For you, if you left it as the square root of 20, you would have to lose a half a mark because it's not in simplest form. So we always have to take our radicals and reduce them to mixed radicals in simplest form whenever we can. So the idea is if you have something squared, you could solve that equation by square rooting both sides. We have to remember that when we square root both sides, we have to add a plus or minus. Circle question 4. Try a couple of those.